All right, Doug. No surprise. It blew up on social media. Absolutely blew up. I knew it would, because when you get angry like that, it generally invokes a major reaction from those on social media.
I honestly don't think. I don't think it's about my reaction or our back and forth. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Let's check out some of the viewer comments.
Yeah, let's hear some of the people on Instagram. Rowan said this, brother, it's literally a number, the absolute most objective measure possible. Her number is bigger than Pete's number. Thus, she is the NCAA's all-time leading scorer amongst men and women's basketball. That's how records work. Doug, what say you?
No, it's not. Okay, so do we, again, here's a question to you, okay? Do we credit who the all-time leading scorer in Division II is compared to Division I?
You probably do, sure. I mean, there is
we don't.
We credit, we give them, there is a record for the Division II all-time leading scorer, is what you're saying. There's a record for that.
Yes.
Separate.
Yes.
Separate.
Yeah. Huh?
Separate record. I agree. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I know where you go.
Like, again, Bobby Hurley's the all-time assist leader, okay? But he doesn't have more assists than the women's all-time assist leader. We've never mentioned that before. Ever.
Right.
Ever. Okay? We've never mentioned somebody from Division II, Division III, NAIA in comparison to any of these records. Ever. Why do we do that?
I actually think if the Division II player was to break Caitlin Clark's record, a men's player, Division II, we would talk about it. It would be brought up.
So Clarence Bevo Francis scored 113 points in a game in 1954. Did you know that?
No.
Okay, so when anybody scores however many points in a game, do we ever go, hey, the all-time single game scoring is Clarence Bevo Francis? Do we ever do that?
No, we do not.
No,
we do not.
You know why? Why would that be?
Because it's a different level, but that's a different level altogether.
Now, I didn't know this, and it's less. Here's
what I will say. Wait. Give me one sec. Okay. Division 2, 3, 2, 1 are different levels. At least we're comparing the top level of women's to the top level of men's. It's not quite the same.
It's exactly the same. It's a different level.
It is not the same.
No, it's not. It's a different gender and a different level.
Let's get to a few more comments before we move on.
If you can find for me one time historically, that we compared, again, like I said this yesterday on my radio show, which is when we say, hey, who was the last team to go undefeated through the entire season in college basketball? Who was it? What's the question? What's the answer?
Indiana.
1976.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. But what about UConn's women? They went undefeated 4 times under Gino Auriemma. 40-0. Right? Why don't we mention it?
Yeah, we do. Some people do. Some people do.
No, they don't.
Not everybody.
Nobody does. No person does. No one's ever done that. No one's ever gone. It's never been mentioned before. Ever. It's okay. Right. You can just go like, you know what? Here's
what I will say.
Let me go ahead.
If next Caitlin Clark has now got the most points of any men's or women's player. If there is a men's player that comes around next year, there might be somebody because of the COVID year. A men's player might come around and break that mark. If they do, they will be talking about them breaking Caitlin Clark's record now. People will do that now. They'll do it. You're wrong if you don't believe that.
So here's what I want you to do when we get done with the show. Okay, I want you to call Bobby Hurley. Okay. And tell him he's no longer the all-time assist.
All right, I want
you to do that.
We'll get a three-way. We'll get a three-way call.
Huh?
Three-way call.
I want
you, me, and him.
I want to know how that conversation goes. Right? Remember, by the way, there's a woman named Susie McConnell who apparently
she beat him.
had 1,307 assists. But even she's not credited because it was during a time which like it wasn't recognized or whatever. So I don't know. So the all-time assist leader by your estimation is Andrea Nagy from Florida International, 1995.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by the way, Caitlin Clark is about to pass Bobby Hurley. So why don't we do that? Right? The all-time, because it's a different
when she does,
sport.
I'm going to call him and say your record, Caitlin just passed.
Say, hey man, not only you're not first anymore, but you're actually
you realize,
fifth now.
You know what Bobby's going to do, right? You know what Bobby's going to do when I do that, right? He's going to go, yeah, like hang up on me and say like, I got a Pac-12 tournament to prepare for soon. Like I got more important things, like trying to save my job. Can we wait? So here's a couple more of these. I want to hear a couple more of these before we move on.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. All right. Matt on X actually agrees with you, Doug. So you got somebody behind you here. He said, Doug is right. She deserves her flowers. She's amazing. Has been the face of college basketball, men's or women's, but it isn't the same. Hopefully people who have never heard Pete's name will look him up. Keep going. Boardman1906 on Instagram. People are also saying that a record shouldn't be Pete's because it was against girls. I'm telling you this right now. If she played Pete's competition, she would blow that out of the damn water, and it ain't close. Certified janitors.
Okay. I mean, he did play against an all-white SEC. That's fair.
It's a hot button topic. I will say that it's a hot button topic.
Let me credit a guy. Dan Byer works on my radio show, and he had the best way of putting it. He said this whole thing has been so organic. America's love affair with Caitlin Clark has been an organic thing. And it was the first time that it felt inorganic, felt artificial, felt like we were making it up, like we wanted to make the achievement somehow better than it already was. That's what it was like. That's what it felt like to me. So, again, it's amazing. And here's the other part to it. Like, then you can, are we going to go he didn't have a three-point line, he only played 3 years? Like, why are we?
Right.
Like,
no,
again,
that's all legit. Yeah, that's all legit. Again, you don't want to take away from what she's done, and that's the hard part.
I think it does.
Look at it. Right. Yeah, you may be right. You may be right.
And,
all right.
And the other part to it, and this is really important.
Go ahead.
This is really important. Like, I'm a bit of a Pete Maravich historian. I had the Maravich memories. Dale Brown sent me these. I mean,
you shot just like him.
Okay, Jeff. No, but I mean, like, he's one of the reasons I wore number 44. Hank Gathers, a guy named Kirk Taggio played for my dad, and Pistol Pete wore 23, 7, and 44. So he wasn't considered a winning player. Like, he didn't raise his team. Now, he did average 6 assists, I think, his last year at LSU. It wasn't like he was only shooting. But he didn't. The most impressive part about Caitlin's deal is it's not like we saw last year. And people forget last year, we had a guy going for Pete's record. Now, it took him like 7 years to do it. Okay, but the point was that team, Detroit, was bad. And at the end of the season, they lost because they were just trying to get him the record. Like, this record has happened organically, and they played winning basketball and nearly won a national championship with the way that she plays. So I think all of that should be credited, and I think this takes away from it. Just when you're comparing it to something that we don't ever compare it to, it's different, and I actually think it marginalizes it when it shouldn't. Because then people go like, yeah, well, then it's a small ball. Yeah, well, she took 4 years. Yeah, well, like all that other stuff.